33 degrees. What is temperature? Well, it's a gauge of the kinetic energy of the molecules of the atmosphere. 9:54 a.m., December 21. What is a clock? What is a calendar? What is time and date? Easy. Stay. Easy. Stay. No. All right. Well, it's a concept invented by humans to keep us from losing our minds. Time and date. It's fiction. Oh, yeah. Time for a little back scratch and belly rub. You can't do this in the house because we don't have cold cement in the house. Time for Steve to enjoy himself. Time for TK to check the bucket. Not too icy, just a little bit icy in there. The kinetic energy of the molecules in the water seems to have slowed. We've got cold air advection and whitecaps on this, what is it, a Thursday? Oh my goodness, there are a few lights in the tree. Okay, maybe it'll snow now. Time is change. And the most constant source of change we know of is the position of the sun in the sky. And today, in Eastern time, there's going to be the sun stopping and standing still over the Tropic of Capricorn, otherwise known as the winter solstice in the Northern Hemisphere, or the summer solstice in the Southern Hemisphere. Excuse me, pardon me. So depending on where you are, it's either the start of summer or the start of astronomical winter. And for the optimists on my YouTube channel, this is the countdown to summer. Looking at you, Dennis and Winthrop. Yeah. And for a lot of the world, the winter solstice is not on the 21st, it's on the 22nd. Universal time. Actually, UTC stands for Coordinated Universal Time, and it's the time in Greenwich, England, which will be 3:27 a.m., December 22nd. That's the world clock. So for us, it's the 21st. And for England and points to the east of that, it's the 22nd. Have I spent enough time on time and clock and what it means? After you've retired or semi-retired, the concept of time changes. Like, what day is it? It's a beautiful blue sky day. That is the sky right there. And you know, water is a reflection of the sky. Look at the ice down there. So there was so much water in the ground. Even with windy conditions, it's freezing. It's not like we had calm sky with radiational cooling last night. No, it's just the moisture freezing. And there are many roadways. Bob Davey was bicycling yesterday in Simsbury, Connecticut, and he said he had to get off his bike about 3 times to avoid the ice on the side of the road. So there's ice everywhere. Speaking of ice, Sunday River still closed today, but thankfully Sugarloaf is reopening, and Wildcat. There's the view from Wildcat last Saturday. Here's the view from Wildcat today, looking at Mount Washington. What a difference a record warm 5 inches of rain makes on a December 18th. Anyhow, Wildcat's reopening today at noontime. So we're getting back on our feet, and the weather is fairly quiet. We had a colder front come through last night. And the snow reporter at Jay Peak, even though it's totally sunny this morning, those snow guns have been going now for 54 hours straight. Says there was an inch of snow last night when that cold front went by. I can certainly feel it. And this morning's map, this one's from about 8 o'clock in the morning. The red numbers are wind gusts, the black numbers are the temperature, and the arrows show which way the wind is coming from. And Beaver Island off the coast of Nova Scotia this morning, gusting to 55 miles per hour. It's not so much the low pressure system that last week, some of the guidance had clipping eastern New England yesterday, but it missed to the east, obviously. Can't trust those 7-day forecasts, can you? It's going into Nova Scotia, and it's a really strong high pressure system again. Wind is air moving from that 1043 millibar high pressure system into the 998 deepening low pressure system that's clipping eastern Canada this morning. That storm pulls that cold air in here, the high pressure goes offshore, and we get a return flow of less cold air coming in over the weekend. And it's looking pretty quiet. There's a little bit of a sort of a ripple on a warm front that may spread a lot of clouds in here with a raindrop or a snowflake on Saturday afternoon. The Boston 3 to 5 day temperature stays near freezing today and tomorrow. And a few of the valleys will get down to the temperature. The summit of Mount Washington this morning got down to about 1 below 0, 0.8, with a temperature of plus 1/2 degree Fahrenheit when I got this image. Anyhow, that'll be the low temperature in some parts of northern New Hampshire and Maine tomorrow morning when an inversion forms. So as the barometer comes up, the stability of the atmosphere comes up, and we get warmer aloft but colder in the valleys tomorrow morning. It's going to be a mostly clear sky tonight, and it's going to be a beautiful evening for viewing the moon and Jupiter. Have I mentioned my favorite website? Time and Date. That's where I get a lot of my information. And that shows you the night sky along with what solstice means and all kinds of things, and what the sunset and sunrise times are. So the sunset's getting a little later and the sunrise is still getting later. So the days, this is the shortest day by about 1 second in Boston. Anyhow, Jupiter and the moon should look beautiful tonight. T-Rex wants to go in. He knows that there's something cooking inside the house. All right, I'm gonna take a timeout for 1 second to let the dog in. You gonna serve yourself some food or what? See ya. Steve likes it outside. Steve's a Maine Coon cat, right? So they're built for this kind of weather. And he strategically hides right behind the tree. And I put seed in there, and he just kind of watches the birds. Oh yeah, yesterday I had to come outside. At about this time yesterday, I saw an eagle fly by. And when he first flew by, it was very close to my head. I was inside there working. So I came out to make sure that the eagle wasn't gonna pick Steve up. So where was I? It's a pretty quiet pattern through Christmas. We're going to have a warming trend this weekend, a pretty nice weekend. So the icy surfaces at the ski areas, those surfaces will soften up. So don't cancel your plans. Support our local ski industry. And there's always a lot more to do besides just go skiing. You know that. It's all about getting together with the family and everything. So we're going to have quiet weather, I think, for the most part here. Until about maybe the Wednesday, will be about the 27th. And then the guidance is all over the place. You know, a few days ago it showed kind of a wintry storm. Then yesterday was kind of a warm storm. Well, now it's kind of more of a wintry storm. The Euro here shows low pressure initially going into the Great Lakes with another one forming. Powerhouse low there on the south coast of New England Wednesday night into Thursday. And then kind of looping around with any rain changing back to snow in northern New England next Wednesday, Thursday, followed by cold air. But still waiting for that Joe Bastardi cold shot to start off the new year. Doesn't look like the cold wants to hold going into the new year. There's a lot more warmer air across the lower 48, but there's a lot of cold in Canada, so we'll see. Things are changing. Supposedly there's some kind of stratospheric warming event occurring, and that dislodges the polar vortex and allows it to spread. Probably saw what was going on in China, some of the coldest air on record in China. And one of the peninsulas there has been snowing for 3 days with about 2 or 3 feet, enough to bury this little dog there. What's his name? James Yang. Good follow on Twitter. So I recommend following him on Twitter for the updates on the China weather and more. They had a deadly earthquake earlier this month, earlier this week too. And that other website, Time and Date, full of timetables, including monitoring eclipses, position of the stars and the planets and the moon and the sun. And welcome to astronomical winter, meteorological winter began on December 1st. Focus, Tim. It's all so fuzzy, isn't it? Solstice is Latin for the sun appearing to stop. Stice. Sol is sun. Stice is stop. The sun stops moving south and starts moving back north, like the aberration, which I'm going to put on that jet plane. All right. Some antics yesterday, walking Rex, and oh yeah, last night Michael Page and I had a nice meeting, and he taught me how to use Instagram, so I'm getting on Instagram now more, and the people around us were like, what are you guys talking? Those are the weathermen. What are they talking about? And I told them I would put them on Out the Door, but I'll spare you that. I'm not going to put you guys on Out the Door other than this view right here, right now. And this jet plane. That's a condensation trail. It's not the government spraying us. That's a whole different subject altogether, isn't it? All right, time for Tim to go inside and edit. Fingers are frozen. Talk to you later. T-I-M with an E. Time. Steve, there's an eagle up there somewhere. There he is. Yeah, I don't think he'd want to pick up an animal as big as you, but just to be safe, I think maybe we should go inside. Got a gull monitoring the progress, keeping us alert. They love these windy days. Just hover up there. Haven't even finished today's Out the Door. The eagle went right by my head, like 20 feet out my window. I'm watching Steve, watching the birds. Look at the birds watching Steve. All right, Steve, let's go inside. God, the town treated the roads already. We gotta wait. Car coming. You usually look the other way. Come on, Rex, you're slacking. All right. A little bit of ice here. Both sides of the road. Didn't treat this one yet. Just getting started. It's gonna be like this all week. Probably into the rest of the year, I would guess. It's interesting. Someone puts their food compost right here all the time. I don't think T-Rex likes lemons or broccoli. I'm not sure. You'd think I would be able to tell who, because I'm here all the time. Better than nip bottles and cigarettes, I guess. Want to see something interesting? It's 36 degrees, 117, December 20th. We went out the door long ago. T-Rex is out now for our afternoon. Little update, beautiful blue sky. 36, it was 33 when we were out this morning, so it's above freezing, yet we have ice in the bucket. How did that happen? How did ice form with a temperature above freezing? Well, there's a thing called evaporational cooling. So in very dry air, the surface of the water is going to evaporate, and that causes cooling. And we actually get ice forming with a temperature above freezing. Magic. That's how you can make snow when it's above freezing. Did you know all that, Rex? Yeah, you knew all that, Rex, right? Got some lights up. Trying to catch up with the neighbors. Everyone's doing a great job. 'Tis the season of the lights. Evening lights. And the moon and Jupiter are pretty close to each other. The moon and Jupiter should be right next to each other on our Thursday. This is Wednesday evening. Not even 5 o'clock yet. And the Four River Bridge, always lit up with the backdrop of the setting sun. Sun's going down a couple minutes later now, but coming up a couple minutes later too. All right, that's the and more and more and more and more. Until tomorrow, see ya.